All right, here we are live in the alligator pen. We've got Screech over here. We've got Mac right here. Mac, smile. We got Scar right here. We got George heading over to say hi to everybody. And right now, everybody wants to know, what are we going to do? How are we going to prepare for the storm coming? Oh, we got Alicia saying, hey, George. George. Alicia says hello. Can you smile? Give her a smile. Say hello. Oh, there you go. We've got people watching thinking I'm the stupidest guy in the world. You're on YouTube Live right now. And yes, don't try this at home, by the way. I have been working with alligators 27 years. It's a long, 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 long time. Yes, I am old. Uh, so I've been doing this for a while. So obviously, don't try this kind of things at home. These particular gators I've been working with for quite a few years, so they know me pretty well. That doesn't mean they won't bite. I always like to say an alligator can be trained, can't ever really tame them and 100% trust them. Hello, caterpillar. I know some people on these live streams. I have all these cool visions for live streams. Like I really like Star Wars, I really like Marvel, and I want to do. I'm really into pop culture as well as alligators. So I want to do all these cool movie reviews while I'm in the alligator pen. I also do pro wrestling, so you may get a little pro wrestling talk. So it's not just alligator; it's a lot of pop culture and stuff too. But I also don't want to ignore the comments. That's the coolest part, is that you get to talk to me. But I must admit, sometimes it is difficult to hit every comment when your feet are here and an alligator's right there. So it's a little tough. But I will try. I will try to answer all the comments. I noticed one of the biggest comments I got is people were asking last time, how do I know all of the different alligators? So I am going to start live streaming on a cool little schedule very soon. I just haven't come up with a schedule. I'm still testing the sound and the microphones. Uh, I'm just trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, how the sound works. So we're still in beta testing mode, but I soon will have actual times when I'm here all the time. So be sure to tell, oh, that's me wagging my finger. Be sure to tell all your friends to subscribe to the Gator Crusader. You'll see all kinds of cool stuff. In fact, you'll notice I've got a weird little ropes hanging out over the alligators. It's almost, and you can see little clothespins on it. What in the heck is a clothesline and clothespins over a group of alligators for? Well, that's my newest YouTube video I'm working on. You'll also see Spider-Man will make an appearance in that. For little pro wrestling, a cute baby squirrel, all kinds of cool stuff will be making an appearance. Oh, and because everyone's freaking out about the storm, I figure we might as well bring some water. All right, guys. Everybody wants to know what our hurricane preparations are with alligators. There we go. Pretty simple, huh? We don't really worry too much about too much stuff here in Florida, but I'm going to try to teach you some of the alligators' different names, tell you about their personalities. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is Screech down here. Screech, I've trained that when I tap my foot, he is to follow it. Good boy. So he's not doing anything wrong. He's actually doing what he was trained to do. The only problem behind that is I thought it would be kind of cool for a show. Like I could be doing a show, people would be watching. I would kind of on the down low tap my foot, and all of a sudden he'd chase me. It's kind of like having a practice, safe chase. The only problem is sometimes when I just walk around the pen, though, he decides, like, he's having trouble distinguishing when it's showtime and he's supposed to chase me or when I'm just walking around and that's not really chasing time, which is more my fault because I haven't trained the difference very well yet. You did good. So sometimes when I just walk around here, he thinks he's getting his cue. See? So he's pretty good about following that tap. But if you also notice, he's not super aggressive about it. He kind of waits right there. Like, okay, Dad, am I going to get my reward? Good job. Good boy. Screech, can you do that again? Let's follow. Screech, follow. And once again, this is live. This isn't my normal YouTube where, you know, if something happens on YouTube that's bad or makes me look stupid, I'll edit it out. You guys are seeing stuff live. So once again, tell all your friends. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to get eaten live for like 2 people. If we're going to get eaten, let's have a bunch of people watching, right? Good job, buddy. But I figured live would be pretty exciting. Got to make big steps. How many gators do you have altogether? Good question. In this enclosure, real quick, I want to point out George. I've trained George the command selfie. When I tell George selfie, selfie, buddy, he usually comes right about here and opens his mouth and smiles. So technically, you could take a selfie with a smiling alligator. George, come on, selfie. There's a lot of there's a lot of old grandmas that don't even know what a selfie is. But George, hold, hold. I give him the hold command and he holds. Didn't I tell you he would sit right there and smile? Look where he's at. He's sitting right there and smiling. Like I said, a lot of grandmas don't even quite know what a selfie is. They're like, I don't know. But my alligator knows what a selfie is. And like I said, honestly, I'm not super good at selfies myself. So I don't know if I'm even going to get him and I in it. But technically, you could kneel down or whatever and take a selfie with a cool, awesome, smiling alligator. So this alligator knows what a selfie is. This is George. George is one of the largest gators in here. He's close to 10 feet long. George, can you smile for me? Say hello to YouTube. Can you say hi to YouTube? Yes. You're a big boy. Head up. Good selfie. Good boy. Good selfie. The funny thing is, Scar, this is Scar. Scar always gets jealous when I give George a lot of attention. He usually tries to come up like, hey, Dad, I can do a selfie too. Watch me. Scar is pretty interesting here. I do have to always keep looking behind me. Do you ever get a feeling someone's watching you? Well, if you turn around, it's like, uh-oh, alligators are back here. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate that. But Scar, I call him Scar because if there's ever a fight in this pen, it's always between Scar and somebody. He's kind of like the bad guy. George, as big as he is like super gentle. Scar is the guy who always likes to fight. And you know how like hockey players, if they fight too much, they're missing their front teeth. Take a look at Scar. Scar's actually missing some of his front teeth because he's been in so many fights. He's got plenty of teeth on the side, plenty of teeth there, but in the front, just like a hockey player, he's missing some teeth. Good boy, George. Good boy. Good boy. It's cool. Yes, yes, you are absolutely right. They definitely here. Let me give Scar a little treat before he gets mad. Here you go, bud. Good job. They do definitely have different personalities. I always like to say an alligator pen. is almost like a school classroom. You have the teacher's pet. You've got super athletic gators. You've got two or three that kind of hang out in a clique all the time. And you'll learn their personalities as we go. Just so you know, how long does it take to fully train one? A lot depends on what you're trying to train them to do. Uh, like the selfie, I feel like George learned that in probably 2 or 3 days. And I've trained George to turn. He'll turn when I say the word turn. But now I want to take it a step further and teach him his right from his left. So when I say right turn, turns to the right. When I say left turn, turns to the left. That's taking a little bit more than a couple days. That one's a little more work. But you can teach him to do most things in just a few days. So, like I said, I'm just trying to introduce everybody to all the alligators. We got Screech up there. One of my favorites is Giggles. This is Giggles over here. Next to George, you can see how big George is. He's a big old boy. Yeah, they're pretty fast at learning. Giggles is one of the next big ones. Giggles, come here. You know your name. You can see when I call him, Giggles totally knows who he is. Hey, handsome. You look pretty today. Got to reward him for that. Let's see here. All right. Once again, if I call them by their name and they respond, I try to reward. Sometimes I could just reward them with a click, like I have a clicker. Sometimes I reward them with a good boy. But of course, they do like food rewards as well. Giggles head up. Giggles smile. Smile. Good boy. And see how, like, every time I walk around, Screech thinks that's his signal to follow. Let's see. Let's see if we can't get Screech over this way a little bit. Screech, come here, bud. Oh, sorry. That was my finger. Like I said, this is still the testing period of my live stream. But keep in mind, I'm going to have all kinds of cool things. I want to even get to the point. Hold on. I want to even get to the point where if you donate money to me, I'll take a piece of chicken or a piece of hot dog, write my name or whoever's name you want on it, and we can feed it to the alligators. So I have all kinds of cool plans on what we can do live stream wise. Like I said, definitely movie reviews. Plus, I know a lot of live stream is just learning about people's life. A lot of my life is the alligators, but I do like other things too. So you get to learn about all kinds of cool, crazy Florida man stuff. By the way, I was actually named by the local news as Florida Man of the Year. So if you always hear about, oh, crazy Florida guy, that is me. In the past, I've worked at Walt Disney World. I've done pro wrestling. I don't have furniture in my house. I just have a cool pirate setup. So when you walk into my house, it looks like the Pirates of the Caribbean. It doesn't look like a house. No furniture, no couches, nothing like that. Sometimes I'll come out here and reenact pro wrestling matches for the alligators. I'll sing songs to them. I'll dance for them. We'll watch Star Wars together. So this is not just your typical naturey, oh, aren't alligators beautiful? I mean, of course that's there, but there's definitely more of a comedy slant to what we're going to be doing here. So hopefully all that stuff sounds kind of cool. I'm going to try to get old Screech this way. Let's go, handsome. Yeah, treats already ready for you. Now, a lot of times George likes to come on stage, but I only like him to come up here when I actually ask him to. So once again, we got Scarred. Every time I walk by Scar, he's like, hey, Dad, are you going to notice me? Yes, I notice you. This is Mac, almost like McDonald's. Mac is probably the teacher's pet. If it's not George, it's definitely Mac. Mac, smile. Show me how handsome you are. Mac will hold that smile for a long, long time. This is Edward right here. Edward, get your head up. Oh, that's close to the camera. Edward's looking handsome. Edward got his name because if you, like, everyone's asking me, how do you tell the difference? Edward, If you look at Edward compared to Mac, Mac's got a much fatter head. Edward's got a much skinnier nose, and his two bottom teeth stick out like a vampire. And I was naming him back during the Twilight days when that was a real big thing. So I'm like, oh, he looks like a vampire. He's Edward Cullen the alligator. So that's how he got that name. Some of these names are a little dated, but once you call a gator that, you can't change it. So there was Edward. This gator over here, his name is Bucky, right behind Giggles. Giggles is the big one. This is Bucky. I named him after the Winter Soldier. See, I told you, if you don't like Marvel and comic book geeky stuff, you may not get some of the awesome humor. But we named him after he's missing part of his hand, just like the Winter Soldier. Bucky is missing his arm, so that's how we got the name Bucky. If you notice, I gave George the hold command. He's still been holding there for a nice, long, long time. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Yeah, you look beautiful today. You want to come on stage and meet everyone? All right, we're going to see if he wants to go on stage. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Closer. Hold. 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 Gotta hold. Good job. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. That's a hold. Good boy. All right. Alicia says, you're amazing, George. Hold. See, I give him the hold command. It's kind of hard to do. I'm not used to holding the camera and doing all these commands and stuff. So some of it you might not be able to. In the beginning, some of this stuff you might not be able to see as well. But I'll get better at it, I promise. All right. So once again, I'm going to try to get old Screech to move that way a little bit. Give George his little treat. See if we can sneak by. All right. George, can you turn for me? George, can you turn? That's a good turn. Yeah, I actually have a GoPro. Good turn. Good turn. Most of my YouTube videos. Oh, hold on. Let me give you a treat. That was a good turn. Most of my YouTube videos are with a GoPro. I just don't know how to do the GoPro attached to the YouTube live part. So that part's a little different for me. But yeah, my YouTube, if you ever watch my YouTube, those are almost all on GoPro. In fact, I do have a GoPro videoing me just so I can document, hey, look at me live streaming like a weirdo out here with a bunch of alligators. Because there are gators kind of all around me. Some there, some in the water. A whole bunch in the water watching. They're like, are we live, Dad? Are we live? Yes, we are live. As you can see, Scar's always jealous. Head up. Like I said, tell all your friends all about it. I got all kinds of cool plans. I did live stream on another format before, and when I live streamed there, like I said, when people donated money, I would take like icing and write it on a hot dog, whatever name you wanted, and then we would feed it to the gators. So even though you can't necessarily be here with me feeding the alligators, it's kind of like a virtual way of feeding the gators. It was a cool little thing. We'll probably start doing that. Okay. Ah, so you met us with Mimi. Yes, Mimi really liked the alligators, and she was super, super nice. So I'm glad you got to find us that way. Where it's like I said, welcome to the weird Florida people zone. Right, George? Now I've been working on rubbing George's back. Let's see if he'll let us do it for the live stream. Hey, Georgie, just relax. Just relax. Good job. Good boy. Good boy. Good job. The donate part, I'm still trying to figure that out myself. I know. Hold on. I got a gator. Here you go. The donate part, I'm still working on. I know I have enough subscribers to monetize everything. I'm just not quite sure how to do it yet on YouTube. We got a squirrel over here. That squirrel, believe it or not, that would be awesome. I would love that. Believe it or not, this squirrel, hold on, I want to show you. This squirrel going boom. I don't even know if I can catch up with him. That squirrel has actually laid its nest way up there and has has her babies up there. A lot of animals, like even wading birds, like you see that wading bird over there, there's a squirrel over there, have learned not too many predators are going to bother them if they put their nest above a group of alligators. Like, not too many raccoons. Sorry, I'm always checking behind me for George. So you're attacking me live? Hopefully not. And oh, remember I said Scar gets jealous and likes to say, hey, Dad, I can do selfie position too? Look who's in the selfie position. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, I'll figure out how to do this monetization pretty darn soon. But yeah, George is up here. So Scar's like, look at me, Dad. I'm doing selfie. Look at me. So George and Scar are definitely jealous of each other. They're always trying to show off to me who's doing what, which is kind of cute that they're that way. But yeah, like I was saying, another thing you'll notice, I guess being in a gator pen, I tend to lose track of thoughts because I get attacked or something comes behind me and I forget what I'm saying. So sometimes it takes me a few minutes to get back to my original thought. But we usually get back to them sooner or later. But I was talking about that squirrel. We've got a wading bird over there. Let's see if we can get close up on that bird. So a lot of birds, a lot of squirrels will actually build their nests over a group of alligators like this. Like I said, I know there's a squirrel nest right up in there. Because who's going to bother their babies if they have to go, who's going to bother the baby squirrel if they have to run in front of George and all these other gators first? The only bad thing is if the baby bird or the baby squirrel tries to leave the nest a little too early, they may end up becoming food for the alligator, but that's a circle of life. That's the alligator's payment for basically being the security guard. But that's why, if you notice, that's why we had that squirrel running around in here. Animals are super smart. That's why we've got that bird over there. That's why we have the squirrel in here. And as long as she makes sure her babies don't leave the nest early, guess what? Those squirrels don't have to worry about any predators. Where normally, if a squirrel just put her babies in a regular old tree, they have to worry about raccoons, they have to worry about stray cats, they have to worry about so many snakes, so many different predators. But these guys have alligator security, which is pretty darn awesome. Like I said, I wouldn't run in front of George just to get a meal, so they know what they're doing. Those animals sure do. All right, let's see if we can't get George to turn again for us. All right, George, right. Turn to your right. George, to your right. There you go. Right. That's your right. Head up. Head up. Good boy. So, like I said, he can turn pretty well. The whole right and left, we're still working on a little bit. I don't know. I just got a red message. It's a little difficult to try to do this live stream and stay alive. I guess keeping myself alive is kind of the key in this live stream, right, George? Right? But we're pretty well prepared. Everyone wants to know what we're going to do if the hurricane comes. Hold. You better hold. I didn't tell you to come closer. You hold. Good hold. Good hold. So, if the hurricane does come, the main thing is, is the water. I'm concerned about the overflow. So, I've got a pipe over there that will drain the water. I'll just pull the pipe, will drain the water down to nothing. That way, even if we get 6 feet of water, it won't overflow. Because, of course, people look, even in Florida, they really don't want George floating down the middle of International Drive. For some reason, people look down on that. So, generally, as long as I keep the water drained, the big alligators, there's not a whole lot to do with them. Gators in the wild have to deal with the hurricane as well. Um, Some of my smaller animals that I have here at the park, I do let employees take home. We lock them all up, put them behind big garage doors. So we're pretty well prepared. This place has been here for almost 15 years, so we've seen things before. So we're pretty relatively prepared. I'm actually considering um, live streaming if the hurricane hits. I almost want to be in the alligator pit live streaming with the hurricane all around me. I just picture how cool would that be if I'm like, the wind is intense, but I love my gators so much, I've got to check on them. I think that would be pretty dang awesome. But my only fear is I would really like to have a bunch of people watching if I do that. And I don't know how many people would watch that. Yeah, my mom's not a super huge fan of that idea. But I figure, okay, being with gators is scary enough. Being in a hurricane's pretty scary. How cool is it if you combine the both? I'm still not sure if I'm going to do it just because, I don't know, it is a little dangerous. But I think it would be cool. Plus, honestly, truthfully, I love these alligators like they are my kids. So I kind of do want to be with them and watch over them. But I'm not sure. But anyway, so that way you kind of have a little taste. You would go viral. See, that's exactly. I agree with you. I think it would go viral and be like super ridiculous, crazy Florida guy in an alligator pit during a hurricane. What says Florida more than that? Right? Right, George? Right? George is like, yeah, I guess. Screech is almost done with his meal. All right, so that's a little bit for now. Little taste of my life, my weird personality. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell people about it. I wanna make this a cool big deal. My idea was, the crocodile hunter. He kind of pioneered cable TV, but no alligator person has ever really pioneered social media, and social media is so huge. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Because honestly, a lot of alligator, a lot of crocodile people, they're kind of in the past. They don't look forward. They're like, I'm going to make myself a video cassette tape of me working with my alligators. I want to be on the cutting edge. I want to do cool social media stuff. So you can find me everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Just look for The Gator Crusader. But really, what I want to focus on is my YouTube page because I love going to movies. And so I obviously love making movies with my alligators. In fact, this weekend, I'm actually thinking about going and seeing Spider Man again. I've seen Spider Man 4 times, but it's back at the theater, so I may see it one last time. Right? Right, buddy? Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to do a little more hurricane preparation, like that big boat. I'm definitely going to have to put inside somewhere. Anything that may float around or fly around or be dangerous, I'm going to have to definitely put that away. If you don't know, a hurricane is supposed to hit here in about a day and a half. I think like Sunday night, Monday morning. So George and I are getting ready for the hurricane. Hey, bud. All right. You want to sign off, George? Tell them all bye. So for George the Alligator, thanks for watching.